The coastal town of Elmina, with its cobblestone streets and vibrant markets, held the prestigious Ghana National Academy, where Amara, the principal's daughter, reigned as the school's star pupil. She was the epitome of excellence, her name always atop the honor roll. Her father, Mr. Kofi Mensah, a stern but loving man, prided himself on her achievements and held her to an exceptionally high standard. Her mother, the ever-graceful Mrs. Mensah, was her quiet supporter, ensuring that Amara never felt overwhelmed by the weight of expectations. One fateful afternoon, the academy buzzed with rumors about a significant sum of money that had gone missing from the principal's office. Amara, trusted by her father, was tasked with locating the missing cash. Her search led her to the dimly lit janitor's closet, where she met Kweku, the janitor's son. Kweku was tall and unassuming, with sharp features and a calm demeanor that belied his menial position within the school's hierarchy. He was sweeping the floor when Amara barged in, breathless and determined. "I'm sorry to intrude," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "But I need to ask if you've seen an envelope lying around." Kweku paused, leaning on his broom. "An envelope? What does it look like?" "It's brown, a bit worn out," she explained, scanning the room with desperate eyes. "It has something important in it." Kweku thought for a moment before walking to a dusty shelf. He retrieved a familiar envelope and handed it to her. Amara's heart leapt with relief as she inspected its contents to confirm that the money was intact. "Thank you," she said sincerely, her gaze lingering on him for a moment longer than necessary. "You've saved me a lot of trouble." "It's nothing," Kweku replied with a small smile. "Glad I could help." The incident sparked a connection between the two. Despite their vastly different social standings, Amara found herself drawn to Kweku's quiet strength and resourcefulness. Their conversations began to extend beyond pleasantries, venturing into shared dreams and aspirations. Kweku revealed his passion for mechanics and his dream of studying engineering, while Amara confessed her struggles with balancing her father's expectations and her desire to explore her own identity. The more they talked, the more Amara began to see the world through Kweku's eyes. He spoke of resilience, humility, and the power of perseverance. His perspective was a refreshing contrast to the privilege she had grown accustomed to. Kweku, in turn, admired Amara's determination and intellect, qualities that transcended her social status. Their growing friendship did not go unnoticed. Whispers circulated among the students, and soon, even the teachers began to cast disapproving glances in their direction. Mrs. Mensah, ever perceptive, noticed the change in her daughter's demeanor and decided to confront her one evening. "Amara," she began gently, "is there something you'd like to share with me?" Amara hesitated, torn between her loyalty to Kweku and her respect for her parents. "I've made a friend," she admitted cautiously. "Someone who's shown me a different way of looking at life." Mrs. Mensah's expression softened, but her concern was evident. "You know your father's rules. He wants the best for you, and sometimes that means making difficult choices." "I know," Amara replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "But isn't it possible that what's best for me might be different from what he thinks?" Meanwhile, Kweku faced his own set of challenges. His father, Mr. Owusu, a humble and hardworking man, warned him about the consequences of crossing societal boundaries. "You're playing with fire, Kweku," he cautioned. "Their world is not ours." "I understand, father," Kweku replied, his resolve unshaken. "But she's not like the others. She listens, and she sees me for who I am." The tension came to a head during a school event where Amara and Kweku were seen talking in the library. A group of students, led by Samuel, the school's resident troublemaker, confronted them, accusing Kweku of overstepping his boundaries. Amara, ever courageous, stood her ground. "Friendship knows no boundaries," she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. "If you can't see past your prejudice, that's your loss." The confrontation escalated to the principal's attention. Mr. Mensah was furious, his disappointment evident as he summoned Amara to his office. "Do you have any idea what you're doing?" he demanded. "You're risking everything for someone who doesn't belong in your world." Amara met his gaze with unwavering determination. "And what if my world is wrong?" she countered. "What if we've built walls that don't need to exist?" Her words left Mr. Mensah speechless, forcing him to confront the biases he had harbored for years. Meanwhile, the students' animosity toward Kweku reached its peak, culminating in an incident where his belongings were vandalized. The act of cruelty only strengthened Amara's resolve to fight for what she believed in. With the support of her mother and a few empathetic teachers, Amara organized a school assembly to address the issue. She spoke eloquently about the importance of breaking down societal barriers and embracing diversity. Her speech resonated with many, planting seeds of change within the student body. Kweku, too, found his voice, sharing his journey and dreams with an audience that finally began to see him as more than just the janitor's son. The assembly marked a turning point, fostering a sense of unity that had long been absent within the school. Over time, Mr. Mensah came to appreciate the lessons his daughter had taught him. He extended an olive branch to Mr. Owusu, acknowledging the value of their children's friendship. The two families began to interact more openly, bridging the gap that had once seemed insurmountable. Amara and Kweku's bond continued to flourish, inspiring others to challenge societal norms and pursue their dreams fearlessly. Together, they proved that love and understanding could transcend even the deepest divides, leaving a lasting legacy at Ghana National Academy.